And we are back here again with another Quest episode for your ass. Traveling through the galaxy in the USS, in the USS Yamama. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't forget that. Can't forget that. Yeah. This one we're going back a little bit. We're going back pretty far, actually. 1984 to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, 1984. This one's
1984.
I am mildly older than this movie.
Yes. Yeah, we are. Yeah,
mildly.
So this movie then would be 36 years old. This movie would be now.
No. Well, wait. No.
Yeah, right?
No, this is 39. This is 84. Yeah. 39.
84.
Yeah, 83 would be 40.
That shows my mathematical skills.
I mean, you get limitations here and there, right? You know, you can only crank so many numbers at one time.
Exactly. You know, too many
fucking numbers. But yeah,
Enemy Mine.
Enemy Mine is the movie on the table. A Dennis Quaid film, which early Dennis Quaid film too, by the way.
Young Dennis Quaid.
It's weird seeing him him this young.
It is.
Like,
but I saw this movie so many years ago. I just fell in love with it.
You know who Dennis Quaid's back in the day, not anymore. But you know who I used to always get back when I was younger mixed up with Dennis Quaid?
Who's that?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Like young Harrison Ford and young Dennis Quaid, kind of similar.
Well, they both had that, what is it, like a blondish hair type of...
This is the way they even sound it. Like if you listen to their voices, Dennis Quaid sounds like a young Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
And don't get me wrong, I love me some Harrison Ford. But yeah, no, fucking, I don't know. This movie, okay. This movie caught me off, like with no spoilers as we do. But this movie caught me. I have some mixed emotions.
Do you?
I
fell in love with this movie the first time I saw it. It just I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it. It's without giving nothing away. It's just like the battle between two species, but they hated each other. I mean,
now, okay. Before we get in that, let's get it out of the way. Because you know we were limited on this show. For all our viewers, you see it all on screen. You know what you're doing. Go to the URL. Boom, right there. Get yourself some merch. Get yourself some good stuff. Blah 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 blah. All that other good shit. NobleGI.com. For all our listeners, NobleGI.com. NOBULLGI.com. Get over there. Merch. All episodes of Past, Present, Future are there. Our full catalog. Full schedule, updated whenever it needs to be updated. Everything you need to know is over on NobleGI.com. Go there. Simple as that. What we do here on the Quest, if you're a new viewer or listener, what we do is we go through all the movies that, like, unlike the Grim Tales podcast, where that's our horror show, and that's a seasonal one too. We use the Quest as me and VC Lauren, we're very big movie buffs. We love movies of all kinds. Yeah. And we wanted a platform, and that's what we have here. So whenever we watch a movie, we give you our unspoiled reviews and scores, and you can decide whether or not to watch it by the end of it.
Yep. Any type of movie. Yeah. Not limited to a genre. Yep.
Now, with that said, I will say this much, and this will go into the scoring later on. Now, mind you, it's not a bad thing, but it was apparent. There was wokeness, quite a lot.
Absolutely, it's a prejudice between different species.
At the time, the big thing was race discrepancy. Right. So now again, the woke meter. See, here's the thing: the woke meter doesn't necessarily mean, because there's bad wokeness and then there is general woke.
Absolutely. In my opinion, the wokeness in this movie was specifically built for this movie.
No, it was. It was the discrepancies and the race differences and how we're not different from each other and we should get over it, basically. Right, but it was there, so it did move. It
was a positive sci-fi story.
Absolutely. Which, if you notice, a lot of 1980s sci-fi had you look at Star Trek. Star Trek had religion in it, had race in it, had all that kinds of shit in it. So absolutely. A lot of 1980s and mid 1990s sci-fi really centered around that.
It did. This movie to me was focused on telling a positive story, and what happens before you get to the positive.
Now, okay, this is also going to go into my scoring later on, but I was trying to rate this movie again. When we go back in time and watch these movies, I rate these movies as if I were in that time. Like how would have younger me watch this movie, and then I also put that against how would older version me, and then I come up with my scores. Yes. I will tell you right now, the first half of this movie was ass.
It was slow. It was
super slow. Super slow. Like,
it's definitely a drag type of movie. This movie, you have to go into it knowing there's going to be 90% dialogue.
Which that even wouldn't have bothered me. It wasn't the dialogue that bothered me. I mean, hell, I loved Blade Runner, and Blade Runner is like shit, almost like nothing but dialogue. And that was from the 80s. I don't know, something about this film. For the first half, I didn't care. I didn't care about the war. I didn't care about their relationship. I didn't give a shit about them because it was very rushed in the beginning. No, there was very rare, towards the middle when you, for example, no, I can't give it.
That's the thing. I'm having a hard time.
I can't do it. But I can't go without
careful.
I almost fucked up. But there was a point in the movie where they started seeing eye to eye and certain things started happening. But, at that point I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel this. When they got to the point, when they got to the point where they had to work together. Not even that. A little bit after that. Like, that was when I started seeing, okay, I see what they're trying. I see this type of story they're trying to tell. And then by the end, I was like, okay, it wasn't a half bad movie, right?
Right.
But the first half of this movie, dude, I was like, man, this movie sucks.
I loved it. I loved it all the way through. If you go into this expecting pew 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 and lasers, no,
it wasn't even that. Set pieces. Okay, if you were to put those set pieces against now, of course they're bad, right? But going back to 1984, those set pieces were really good.
Yeah,
they were like, really, like, you could tell some of it was a lot of green screen. They were doing not green screen, but they were doing They didn't have green screen back there, but they had like backdrops.
Well, they had backdrops, so I think it was like green screen, but some of the planet rocks and everything were probably like hollow rocks.
Oh no, they definitely had sets. Yeah. They had sets, but there was parts where okay, my bad. They did have green screen because it wasn't green. It was however they did Superman, because Superman did, like the old Supermans, they didn't have green screen, but they still made him look like he was flying. I think it was projectors behind them. I think that's how they did it. I think it's similar how they did it. A lot of sci-fi movies, good sci-fi movies, did do a lot of the production that was done into this in this one. So I won't knock the set pieces.
Well, I remember that some of the Star Trek, the Next Generation, that was around the same time, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
no, late '80s. That Next Generation was
It's
late
it.
'80s more.
Okay, but yeah,
Mid to
maybe a
late
couple
80s.
years after. But a lot of the flying scenes and everything were actually shot with toys. They were just
Oh yeah,
props.
no. I mean, Star
And
Star Trek
then
did that up
yeah,
to, actually Star Trek was doing that all the way up past Voyager.
yeah. So I'm thinking some of the spacecraft shots in this movie probably done the same way.
Probably. Yeah,
Just
no,
with,
absolutely.
with toys, and then they add the space
Production
around
again,
it.
production though was what you would expect for a
For
good
that time.
a higher budget, not a super budget, but a higher budget sci-fi film.
What did you say they spent on this movie?
Oh,
18?
okay. I actually have that.
So I just
let's
want to see
see.
what that would be in today's.
I actually have that. The actual budget, it had a budget of, in total, it only was supposed to make 18 million. It was only supposed to spend 18 million.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of budget problems, increases, and all that other shit. Had to spend more money, so forth and so on. Probably about some of the Dennis Quaid stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They probably
Yeah.
had to end up spending more on him because he was a rising star at the time, so forth and so on.
Oh yeah.
But the budget went from 18 million to 29 million all total.
Yeah. So in today's money, that's at least 90 million.
No, it wasn't that bad. It actually, ironically, I wish I could find this information easier on all of them, but especially older films. But out of $29 million budget, that would have been of the equivalent of 48 million today.
Okay, so almost doubled. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
$40 million.
Yeah, so-
I could see it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know,
For the time, yeah.
yeah, for the time, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, to be fair, though, you ready for this? How much do you think the box office was? Keep in mind
I'm gonna
its
say
actual
for
budget.
Right. So its budget was 20 something. You said. So I'm gonna
And
say
hold
probably-
on. And box office scores count all the times that it was in. Like, mind you, this movie's 40 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So anytime that it went in, like even if it went into a small one, like throughout the years, like, you know how some movie theaters they'll like play classics and shit. It still counts towards
yeah.
box office.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so 40 years worth of box office. What do you think this film got?
Let's say $100 million.
It box officed 12.3 million.
Okay. Well, I was way off. Jesus.
This was a pure flop, sadly.
Yeah. Well, this movie is a diamond in the rough to me. This is a movie that never made. Like, when you think of sci-fi, this movie doesn't even come close to coming up. You know what I mean? This is one of those movies that. I don't know, I think only.
Sci-fi wasn't in a great spot back in the 80s because you had Star Wars, right? And Star Wars dominated everything back there.
Yes, it did.
You had Star Trek, which Star Trek was more for the niche small screen at that time. They did have movies, don't get me wrong, and people did go to the movies to see back then. They did go to the movies to see Star Trek movies, but there wasn't like there was a lot of you know what really ruled the 80s? What really ruled the 80s was horror. And action movies and horror movies were big in the 80s. Sci-fi was probably the third. They did make a lot of good sci-fi. I mean, shit, you had Escape from LA.
Did.
I mean, Escape from New York. You had Blade Runner. I could go on. There was a whole bunch. But
I just think this movie just wasn't that type of movie that
it fell through the cracks.
Yeah, it fell through the cracks. It really did.
It's not that it was a bad movie for its time. It wasn't a bad movie. If I would have watched this movie when in the 80s, I would have said it was a fairly decent sci-fi film. Wasn't like it wasn't okay. If I had to put it against the movies of its time, like Star Wars and Star Trek and all the other, nah.
Yeah, I think I was like 15 years old when I first saw this movie, and I could actually say this was the movie.
See, that's the thing. Like, I actually went through sci-fi movies before this movie. Like I seen Blade Runner. I seen when I was a young kid. Of course, I watched Star Wars. I grew up on Star Wars. Fucking Star Trek. Fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is kind of sci-fi.
Absolutely, kind of.
I mean, it's mutant fucking turtles. I mean, there's all kinds of sci-fi shit that I watched when I was a kid. This one was not there. That's how to go. I grew up on
Yeah.
sci-fi, and I still didn't see this film. This was like my grandparents used to buy random ass sci-fi films because they knew I liked sci-fi and horror. They would buy them, and they would just they never bought me this one.
This movie, I could specifically tell you, my father got it for me, and it came from a flea market.
He's like, here,
Goodwill.
Little weird bastard will like this movie. Here you go.
Yeah, and I fell in love with it. It was on VHS. I remember. I don't know why.
Nah, I don't know, man. Like,
just touched me right there.
Which is funny, right? Because again, I know Dennis Quaid, right? I know him.
Yeah,
You know, he's not. I've known him for ages. I've watched all kinds of films, sci-fi films, action films.
Yep.
I want to say that I've seen him in a horror film, but I can't recall off the back of my head. But I swear I remember him doing a horror film too. But point is, I've seen him in a lot of movies over the years. He's not.
Yeah, from what I read, his co-actor, what is his name? Gaza Jr. or whatever.
The co-actor's name was Louis Gossett Jr. Probably butchered that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was a hot actor at the time for reading.
I'm trying to think. I know him. I do know him. I have seen him in other movies. I just can't remember if it was around that time or not. But I have seen him in other movies.
Apparently, The Race. I remember The Race. The Race was the Drac.
Yeah.
And I swore I heard that name.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. The only other actor in this that I can really speak on is the bad guy of the equivalent, right? That's Brian James. He's known for he was a big bad guy in the 80s. Like shit, I think he was
guy, right?
Yeah, and he's been in RoboCop, like all kinds of shit. He's always a bad guy. I don't think I've ever seen him play a good guy.
Those were great 80s movies too, the RoboCop movies.
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually thinking about getting the new game that just came out.
Nice.
Great movies. That I actually want to play. But yeah, I mean, it's your typical 80s cast. There's a lot of people in there you don't know, and then there's a few people you do. Like I said, sci-fi was in a different place. Sci-fi goes through niches, right? Because, okay, in the 80s, it was big, but it wasn't the biggest. The 90s, sci-fi was rising. Like in the 90s, it was all over the place. Yep. 2000s, horror came back. And in the early 2000s, horror came back and sci-fi took a back seat. And now that we're in the second half of, like in the 2010s, actually, no, we're not. In the 2010s,
we're in the 20s.
In the 2010s, sci-fi was kind of making you had all these superhero movies, you had a lot of space movies, all this other shit. Now we're kind of going backwards again where there's not a lot of sci-fi movies.
Yeah, there's not a lot. Because I remember in the early 2000s,
horror's making a comeback again.
The different Star Trek started to come out.
Horror is making it. I don't think horror and sci-fi coexist with each other. That's the thing.
No, they do not. They do not.
You can only have one.
Too, so
yeah,
I'm happy they're prospering, but I wish it was a little more sci-fi.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah. Totally fucking agree. There's a lot of good sci-fi out there, but nowhere near compared to how much horror is out there. Like I don't know.
Not real like sci. And when I want sci-fi to come back, I'm space opera.
No, I love good space. I love.
Oh, I know.
I love a good space. A space travel does. I mean, a space journey.
Yeah.
I love a good space journey. Like, I'm like, I still to this day, I'm a Trekkie through and through. I love Star Trek.
Yeah.
Watch Star Trek Picard, all that shit.
Yeah.
I love all that shit. It's good. I don't know, but I don't know. This movie, like I said, my scores will be fair because there's when we go back to old movies, I always split them into two. How would younger of me watch this in the 80s or even in the early 90s versus how I'm watching it now and how well it's held the test of time?
Yeah, because the 15-year-old me that was first introduced to this movie, I fell in love with this. I just got done watching like about a week ago for this show. And I'm like, God, this is cheesy.
there is some sci-fi, just like horror. There is some sci-fi that you can get into that I can't get into. Yeah. Like Babylon 5.
Oh, love it.
No, I've tried so many times. Now, Battlestar Galactica, loved it. Right?
Did you?
Loved Battlestar
Galactica.
Farscape was okay. Farscape was okay.
Yeah, loved it.
But Babylon 5, I could never get into. What was that other one with Kevin Sorbo?
Oh, the Galactic Andromeda.
Yeah, couldn't get into that. That was ass. That was real bad.
It was,
Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But like again, but we do tend to like a lot of the sci-fi. But there is
Hercules in space.
I liked Hercules, but again, now if I go back and watch Hercules now, which I've tried,
Oh, so
it's
cheesy,
real
yeah.
cheesy. It's even I love it, but it's still hard to sit through because you're
Oh, yeah.
like, oh, this is so bad, so cringy.
Yep.
But no, this movie wasn't that bad. It's a damn shame that this one fell through the cracks the way that it did, because it was a decent, not great, but a decent sci-fi for its time.
Yeah.
But
Great.
I think we get into it, right? That's the time.
Yeah.
This is where we get into our scores. For anyone who is new, what we do here is we give our scores. We have 4 general scores. That is acting, story, gore, and production. Sometimes on the gore, we give it a pass if it's not necessary. So we give that a 1 through 5. We give it a point score if there's something in between. So 0.1, 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, so forth and so on. If it's below a 1, we give it a noble pile. Above a 5, we give it a noble seal. After that, we give it the woke score, which it's a woke score. I mean, if there's woke political, anything that shit that's in it, it's in there. You can choose whether or not that's bad for you or not. We'll make our assessments. And then, of course, we give our overall score from 1 to 10. Same thing with the noble pile and noble seal are in effect. So, with that said, let's get right into it, and let's go for the first one. Okay, and the first one is story. What do you give the overall score for story?
I thought the story was amazing. I mean, that's the reason I suggested it. I gave it rewatching it. I know the younger me would have given it a higher score, but this time around, I give it a 4.5.
Fair. I guarantee you the younger you would have given this a seal.
Absolutely.
I can see it.
Absolutely.
I can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Rewatching it, you can see the cheesiness, but oh man, when I first saw this,
Like, we're talking about the same 15-year-old that believed in The Undertaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I can't believe he keeps coming back to life.
Oh, this is so cool.
What, Kane? He's really from hell? Holy shit. No, you know what? Just a side note.
When he did the fires from the side of
all
that shit was real.
Dude, I this is how hardcore you were, okay? Don't get me wrong, I loved wrestling when I was younger. But you had the actual wrestling magazines because you would always bring them to school and we would read them.
Yep.
So that's how crazy that was.
Hardcore. Yep.
Hardcore. Fucking, you'd have had WWE, WWF tattoos if you could have.
I would have had the Undertaker suck my dick at 15.
Man, the Undertaker would have made you suck his dick.
Right?
I don't see Mark Calloway sucking your dick.
The other way around, exactly.
Yeah, you're definitely sucking his dick. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So you gave that a what? A 4.5? Or no?
4.5.
4.5? Okay.
Yep. 4.5,
I can't go that high. It was an okay story, right? It was a pretty generic story. It was a good story, but a very generic story. Even for its time, it was fairly generic. So I gave it a 3.5. Still above average, but it was a fairly generic story. I mean, it's, two enemy sides fighting. They learn that they're not so different. They stop fighting. It's fairly generic. Yeah, Star Wars and all that other shit. They've all done that. Star Trek. So forth. Yeah, they've all done it. Even for its time, that wasn't a new concept. So I can't really give it too much on the story because while it was a decent story, it was still fairly generic. So I can't really go beyond that. Moving on. Let's go to the acting. What do you give the acting for this film?
I mean, this was Dennis Quaid. Even back then, he was a great actor. I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick to the 5 that I originally gave it. Even 15.
Wow.
It was great. Great acting. Even I mean the alien and shit. Perfect. Man.
You know what's funny? I still to this day when people, especially in the 80s, when people do they try to create new languages.
Yes.
It can either work or it can be really, really, really annoying. And this one,
you know what I read somewhere?
I thought it was really cheesy.
They were trying to go for a backwards Russian.
Really?
They were trying to go for, yeah.
See, I don't know. I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't take it serious. Like there is a lot of languages in Star Trek that I can't take. Like a lot of the only fantasy sci-fi language to me that ever actually truly made sense was when because the Elvish language, right? because that's been used forever. I mean, any movie that has elves in it, you can actually speak Elvish. It's an actual legitimate language that they created, so you can actually speak Elvish. That's the only one that really. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that there's other ones that I was.
Klingon, Patah.
See, even like as much as I love Star Trek, there were times where I was okay with Klingon. You can speak Klingon, by the way. There is actually there's actual language.
Dictionaries, a
there
whole
is
language, yeah.
But sometimes, I guess you know what it is. It depends on who's speaking it.
It could be.
Like when Worf spoke it, I felt like that was a real language. When some dickhead who was like a side note guy, he spoke it, I wanted to slap him in the mouth.
Yeah, it sounded cheap that he was over trying.
So I don't. Again, you gave the acting a 5.
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. I give it a 3.
Okay.
Still above average. Dennis Quaid did a good job. There was a lot of cheesy stuff, even for the 80s in there. Like the acting there was a lot of like when they were wrestling and shit, you could see that they were throwing punches and shit. Like that it was all like it wasn't great.
How about the cheesy earth form that kept coming out of the
it reminded me of every other that was a puppet. And puppetry was really big in that at that time. And that thing just reminded me just like every other puppet in the 80s. It was either puppetry or claymation that was big in the 80s. And that's what it was. I mean, I don't know. I will say where another movie that's more modern got an idea from that thing.
Okay.
The Riddick movies, though. I forget which Riddick movie it was. I think it was the one where he's trapped on the planet and he has to survive with the dog. And there's those creatures in the water.
Yeah,
and their tails came out
in a pit, right?
Yeah, but you know how its tail came out and it navigated, and that's how it grabbed you. Well, those same creatures were in the Riddick movies that were very similar, but they did it in water. So I was like, okay, maybe they got inspiration for that from this movie, which is fair.
Maybe.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 sci-fi movies, so fair enough.
Right.
Which you did see all of them, right?
No, I know it's Vin Diesel, but I've never seen any of them.
You've never seen Pitch Black or any of them?
None of them.
This is the reason why we have the Quest people. I want you to know whose fault this is.
Yep.
We have the Quest because this motherfucker is, even though he's a diehard sci-fi, he hasn't seen those fucking films. Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Even horror movies.
There's probably hundreds that I haven't seen.
Even horror movies. Like, what the fuck? Sorry, we're putting that on there. We're going to put the Riddick movies on there. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, I give it a, I said 3. Fair. I think it's fair. You give it a 5. We'll meet in the middle. Gore. I gave mine. I'll get you. What do you give the gore for this film?
I'm gonna give it a pass. There was really no gore.
It didn't really need it either.
No, I didn't need it. I give it a pass. I mean, a 1,
yeah.
I guess,
no,
right?
I give it a pass. I gave it. I mean, if you want to give it a 1, you can. But I gave it a pass.
I originally gave it a pass.
Yeah,
give it a pass because there was no.
It was really non-existent.
Even when they were wrestling, there was no blood drawn.
I was saying he got shot in the chest, and they showed his body lying there, and it was just like a really weak ass hole, like no blood in it or anything. So again, it didn't affect the film though. I wasn't mad that there wasn't gore. Some films just don't need it at all. It's fine.
No. This was more of a story-based movie. It was
very much. Moving on, what do you give the score? What do you give the production score for this film?
For the time, I mean, looking at it today, it's extremely cheesy. But I can only, go by today. So today I'm going to give, production-wise, I give it a 3.5.
Wow. See, this is where we're going to differ. I actually gave it more of a higher score. And the reason why is because I'm putting it against other films of the time and how I see it was utilized. And I thought it was well utilized.
Me would have been a banger, but
I've watched so many movies of this caliber in the 80s. Horror movies and sci-fi movies. Sci-fi movies, there are great sci-fi movies, and then there are good sci-fi movies, and then there are really bad sci-fi movies. This fell into the good. It was good. Like the production for what it was for the time, it wasn't fucking like Blade Runner or Star Wars, but
it was
a good production. I gave it a 4 for its time. Okay. Yeah, that was probably yeah. So now let's move on to the woke score. What do you give the woke score?
If you want to consider the whole, prejudice story, well, that's how it began. Like a.
It's pretty heavy through the whole thing. That's pretty much the note of the whole movie.
Right. So But is it wokeness like today? No.
No, but when you say woke, you say woke of the generation. Like for example, you watch movies that were from like the 70s and the early 80s, and it had it had like feminists and shit in it. That was real big at the time. So that was what the equivalent of woke. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to look at it that way, then it's definitely like a 2.5. Because I mean, the whole movie was
2.5. I mean, fair. I'm not going to argue with it, but I gave it more. I gave it a 5.
Okay. Dave, you just took the whole movie. And
no,
said, you know what?
I mean, because it goes up to 10. It goes up to 10. So I gave it half. I gave it a 5. Because I mean, the whole undertone of the film was prejudice. Which, don't get me wrong, prejudice is wrong. It's still political, right? So political falls under the woke ideology. Okay, here's the thing, right? I think we have to be a little more careful, right? Because this wasn't really woke. Wokeness is like where you're progressive without being progressive. This was politically driven.
That's what I'm saying, and I think some wokeness is more acceptable than like if you're pushing something in my face. That's I don't
like wokeness. I have no problem with political commentary. If you want to put like homosexuality in a film, does it fit?
Don't bother me.
Does it serve its purpose? Does it drive the story? Sure.
And but what I'm saying.
But when you get woke, it's when you beat people over the head with it. They didn't beat you over the head with it in this.
No, they didn't do that. This movie was designed for that type of political dialogue.
Now,
you know
okay,
what I mean?
I'll go this. Here's how I'll give the woke meter. Right, I will give it a woke meter of 1, but I will give it a political commentary of 5.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it did have a political mission behind message behind it.
Absolutely.
It was definitely for the times. Race was definitely, and again, it was racial tensions and all that shit. That's when we were, again, everybody likes to say that race didn't start becoming a problem until recently. We were fighting for equality, and we were making a difference in the 80s. This movie goes to show that people actually gave a shit. So yeah,
absolutely.
It's not egregious. I don't give a problem. So with that said, let's get over to the the grand score. Overall, what do you give the overall score of Enemy Mine?
I'm only going to go from watching it today because if I go to the 15-year-old me, it would have been a Noble Seal. But I'm going to go. I'm still going to give it an extremely high score. This is a 9.5 for me.
Wow. Holy fuck. Okay.
9. I love this movie. Don't know what it is. Don't know why, but I love it.
I don't hate the movie. I don't hate the movie at all. Like, again, the first half annoyed me. I didn't like the first half. But the movie overall wasn't. I can't go nowhere high as you. I give it a 5.
Wow, right down the middle.
Right down the middle. It's a fairly average shot because I've seen a lot of 1980s sci-fi, and this is a fairly average sci-fi film. It wasn't bad, but it was average.
I've showed this movie to anybody I can find. This is the first sci-fi movie my wife and I saw. Everything.
No. Again, like it's not a bad movie. Like I don't hate it. Yeah. Me giving it a 5 isn't shooting on it. It's the best I can do because I've seen a lot of movies that felt just like this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck?
Yeah, the original Howard the Duck movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh, fuck you.
That's why I'm like, what? Howard the Duck?
1980s in its prime, dude. It was like during the time like when the animatronic heads, like the Ninja Turtles head type shit was popular. And they made a Howard the Duck movie. Oh fuck, we're gonna watch Howard the Duck on one of our back in time ones. Son of a bitch! I think you would like Howard the Duck.
Would I?
I think
you would. The Ninja Turtles. I fell in love with those.
I'm gonna get a trailer for it. I'm gonna get a trailer for it afterwards, and I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
But yeah, I give it a 5. I can't go 9.5, but I give it a 5. So well, of course that will address through it there, but. Not a bad movie. I would say if you can find it on stream, it's worth a $5 rental.
I'd say so. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Nothing more.
No, because you could probably buy it.
If you're a diehard sci-fi collector and you want to put it in your collection, sure.
Yes.
That's the exception. If you're not and you're just looking for a movie to watch and it's okay. $5 rental, fine. If you can find it
know.
on a streaming service, which we didn't, we had to rent it.
We had to rent it.
We had to
because
rent
I
it.
looked everywhere.
Yeah, we couldn't find it.
Nowhere. No.
Couldn't find it as of right now.
Has it, though. Amazon
Yeah.
has it for pretty cheap.
Amazon has it. You can get it for your low end rental. So I would definitely do that if you're really curious about it. I'm not going to sit there and say this is a must watch. But if you're curious about it, go watch it.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
It's not a bad movie. Plus, it's Dennis Quaid. If you want to see Dennis Quaid in his early days, great way to watch it.
Oh,
There was it. But yeah, that is the quest, peoples.
Yes.
Back in
it
Time
is.
episode. We don't do too many of these episodes. We don't do too many of the Back in Time ones. We like to go back and forth every now and then. We will have some, of course. If we do have old ones too. This is we're wide open fucking show. It's as wide open as your mama is.
Yeah, exactly. This is like prostitutes.
Yeah.
We never close.
We have to dock the USS Yamama somewhere.
Somewhere.
Every
Time we watch a movie, we're docking.
Yeah,
You know,
and
we're
just so
docking.
happens to be that this one was so wide that it was in your mama's ass.
Yes, it was.
But regardless, that was this episode's this quest episode. We hope you enjoyed our little commentary. Like I said, go out and rent it if you like sci-fi, especially if you like old school 80s sci-fi. Definitely worth a good watch. Definitely give it a go.
If you're a sci-fi fan, you definitely at least want to watch this.
Sure,
Just get
it's
out of
not.
the fun.
I've absolutely seen far worse sci-fi.
Yeah.
This was a fairly averagely good. It was a good one. It wasn't great. It was a good sci-fi film.
Yeah.
Good, especially if you're trying to introduce sci-fi to your younglings. It's a good way.
It's a movie with a good message.
It's a good message. It's not. There's not really much bad language. So it's a pretty family-friendly early 1980s sci-fi film. So,
Agree. Yeah.
Which is not something you see all the time in Dennis Quaid movies nowadays.
No.
But that is it, peoples. It is time for us to get the hell out of here. I think it was a good show, yeah?
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. And
Yeah, enjoy that hump day. Get that hump in, and make sure to check us out. Tacking the Topic tomorrow. Check it out. But with that said, if you want to find out all the schedule, make sure to get over to noblegi.com. Check it out. All things are there. Every episode we've ever done on the network, past, present, future. Merch store all over there. Full schedule, full associations, VNG Dev, Synth Pop Radio, so forth and so on. It's all there. noblegi.com. That's NOBULLGI.com. Check it out, guys. Make sure to check us out. Tacking the Topic tomorrow, every Thursday, 7:55, 8 p.m. EST. With that said, it is time to go.
peace out, guys.
Peace out, and we will see you when we see you.